Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. A warm welcome to all of you to the ASEAN Outlook on the Indo-Pacific Forum. This gathering comes at a time when the currents of change across our region run deep. In geopolitics and international relations, trade and economics, and in the realm of ideas. Constant and consistent conversations such as these reminds us that amidst these shifts, our compass remains steady. Dialogue, inclusivity, and cooperation. These are not mere catchphrases. They are lived practices that shape our collective future. Today, as we exchange insights and chart possibilities, let us be guided by the spirit of ASEAN. Confidence in consensus, patience in progress, and belief that the Indo-Pacific is at its core a shared home for all. But ideals must find expression in the way we respond to change, in how we read the shifting winds of global politics and economics, and how we anchor our policies amidst uncertainty. Southeast Asia's interests today are deeply intertwined with an external environment that is not only complex but increasingly unpredictable. The lines between geoeconomics and geopolitics have blurred and now move almost in lockstep. The quote-unquote Liberation Day tariffs, certainly a contradiction in terms. To talk of liberation and tariffs in the same breath have spawned a wave of reactions, collectively leading to a reconfiguration of global priorities. It is a shift towards securing supply chains, ensuring economic resilience, and ultimately redefining national security means in economic terms. This compels us to re-examine Southeast Asia and understand how peace and security is secured. Indeed, where prosperity and survival are intertwined with trade and development, peace is sustained through interdependence and cooperation. Development itself must be a peace project if we are to remain relevant and competitive within the international market and global supply chains. We need deeper collaboration with not just our immediate neighbors, but also with partners farther afield who share the same commitment to stability and progress. Having evolved beyond being merely a regional bloc, ASEAN is now an indispensable node in the global economic architecture. Despite operating in one of the world's most contested geopolitical arena, ASEAN has managed to become an economic bright spot, thanks to its deliberate strategy of diversification and engagement. The region's structural advantages, its young demography, abundant natural resources, and strategic geography are the key to sustained growth. ASEAN's story is one of great determination, quiet but purposeful, to resist fragmentation and chart its own course, and to define its place in the regional global order on its own terms. Herein lies the utmost importance of structures such as the ASEAN Outlook on the Indo-Pacific. The AOIP has evolved considerably since its launch in 2019. From its mainstreaming in 2022 to its renewed framing last year, as the core of ASEAN's future-proofing efforts, the AOIP is a statement of intent. It articulates how ASEAN wishes to engage the wider Indo-Pacific on its own terms, anchored in openness, inclusivity, and cooperation. With the AOIP now embedded in the strategic goals of the ASEAN Community Vision 2045 across all pillars, its strategic value has been increased multifold as an anchor to our terms of engagement with partners and stakeholders. But let me also be quite plain here. To be truly dynamic, the AOIP must be driven by a clear and reinvigorated sense of ASEAN centrality. Without this, the AOIP risks becoming another guiding framework without the weight of conviction behind it. This brings us to an essential question. What does ASEAN centrality really mean today? It has become an often invoked phrase, one that is universally endorsed but rarely defined. Over the years, ASEAN centrality is on the brink of losing its substance, diluted by the comfort of banality. Yet, the concept refuses to be sucked into the vortex of irrelevancy. On the contrary, ASEAN centrality remains an integral part of regional diplomacy, impacting issues of the cohesiveness of ASEAN member states. In more ways than one, centrality could be perceived as the very bulwark against the crossfire of strategic interests of the major powers in an increasingly polarized world. As these competing forces impinge on the imperatives of cohesion, agency, and autonomy, not only is the crucial role of centrality further underscored, but the meaning of this doctrine itself demands redefinition. Three principles come to mind: intent and initiative to engage, openness to experience, and effective use of ASEAN-led mechanisms to drive regional socialization. To be or not to be central, that is the question. Whether we should make that conscious choice to be at the center of change or to back away and withdraw into our womb of insularity. To my mind, the answer is clear. It's as clear as daylight, and that is to engage partners proactively across all settings, be it unilateral, plurilateral, or multilateral, as long as such engagement aligns with ASEAN's norms and values. It also means being open to regionalization, open to inter-regionalism, sub-regionalism, and deeper intra-ASEAN cooperation, ensuring that ASEAN remains at the heart of every member's foreign policy. But intent and openness alone are not enough, inasmuch as between the idea and the reality lurks the shadow of inertia, hesitation, and doubt, bogged down by the weaknesses or even obsolescence of our existing protocols. Hence, ASEAN's mechanisms must remain fit for purpose. Our convening power, often celebrated as ASEAN's greatest strength, will erode if our homegrown platforms remain relics of a more comfortable past, unresponsive to the region's real-world challenges. The road ahead may be long and winding, but the path that we chart forward is clear. The AOIP must evolve in tandem with a redefined, purposeful vision of ASEAN centrality. That is the path of the AOIP, and one that is neither abstract nor rhetorical, but alive and in sync with ASEAN's sections, actions, and engagements. Ladies and gentlemen, it is said that the term Indo-Pacific gained traction some 2 decades ago, arising primarily from superpower rivalry, therefore signifying a strategic shift from the focus on Asia-Pacific. How far that is true lies in the realm of contestation, which could be played out in another forum some other time. For now, this much is clear. 6 years ago, ASEAN waded into uncharted waters by sharing with the world an indigenous idea of what the Indo-Pacific means to us. Birthed, no doubt, from the winds of change. At the heart of this decision was and must remain a desire to maintain the channels of diplomacy with agency, and most importantly, autonomy. As we discuss and debate the AOIP, our objectives are clear. How do we secure our lines of communication? How do we forge cooperation in the complex world we live in? And while we may have the heart, do we have the will? These are pressing questions trumpeting for an answer. Let us rise to the challenge today. Thank you.